but for me, it was a little scary because what if we weren't on the same page?
You're listening to Essential Oil Conversations, the podcast for busy women who love natural living, friendship, and a little bit of entrepreneurship too.
Hey there, this is Meg.
Hi, this is Heather.
And I don't know if you noticed, but we have a new podcast name. So we decided to make some changes. We are now Essential Oil Conversations for Busy Women. So
Yes.
we decided to update our name a little bit, and you might have noticed, update our artwork as well. And we thought instead of just, moving forward like nothing changed, we would do an episode today telling you a little bit about why we decided to make these changes. So Heather, what do you want to share?
Well, we started this podcast in October of 2021. So we have been doing this for almost 4 years now, which just feels crazy. And I think it's been really fun to watch the listeners grow, not only just demographically in the United States, but how we have people listening or have listened from all over the world, which is kind of fun. But I think we really feel like we are talking to specific people when we're talking. And so we wanted to make sure that that was easily identifiable for them to find us via our name, really, to start.
Yeah. And I'll say as well, beginning of this year, 2025, both you and I were kind of in a spot where we were wondering if we should continue the show. Because while we have over 180 shows, we have not necessarily grown the way we would expect to grow. So I don't know how many people know this, but most podcast shows only have 10 episodes or less. So it's really rare for any show to have as many episodes as we have. And so we definitely are at a point where we feel like something needs to grow or change. And we were kind of wondering if we should just quit altogether. And so we decided in March, after kind of going back and forth on whether or not to quit, that we would just take a whole month to think about it, pray about it, try to figure out what direction made the most sense for us. And I don't know about for you, Heather, but for me, it was a little scary because what if we weren't on the same page?
I thought about that too.
And thankfully, we were on the same page, obviously, because we're here today. But we both felt like, yes, let's continue doing it. I'll just speak for myself. Part of it is I really love this time with you every week, Heather.
Agreed.
And I feel like the information we're sharing is important and helpful for people. But definitely, I wanted something to change.
I feel like we spend a lot of time on the podcast, whether it is preparing for it, actually recording it, editing it, the social media posts. Like there's a lot that goes into this. And so, yes, we do it because we enjoy it, but I think we also want to make sure that we're not just spinning wheels, that we're actually reaching the people that we want to talk to as well. So, yeah, I think that making some changes, it was the right time. We were both at the right place of being on the same page and wanting to make some changes. So I think freshening up our name and our artwork and our music, if you noticed at the beginning, has been fun. And it's been fun to kind of do those steps together too.
Yeah. And when you say together, it's been truly a family effort. So that's how the show started. For those who don't know or haven't listened to our podcast with our husbands, both of our husbands had a big part in the original artwork and the original music, and even with the Poppin podcast, the intro was my husband. And at the end of this, you'll still hear him in the outro. But this time around, with the artwork, it was kind of fun because Heather's son helped out with that. And that was fun. I do feel bad because I'm pretty sure I was a pain in the butt.
So he's never had a client before requesting his artwork other than his sister, who, really requests easy little things for him. So yeah. This was a challenge that at first he was like, oh, I can do what she's asking. And then I was like, okay, this needs to be updated. This needs to be updated. Can you do this? And he just looked at me at one point. He's like, wow, you guys are very demanding.
It made me think of when, let me back up. First of all, I have an international baccalaureate in art, and so I have really strong opinions on artwork and design and how things should look. So that's something that a lot of people don't know. But when we got married, I have a friend who is an amazing photographer, and I really wanted him to be our photographer. And it took him a while to finally tell me that he did not want to be my photographer because he knew my standards were too high and he wanted to just enjoy our wedding. And while I was insulted, in the end, I was like, no, I get it, because you're right. Like, if we're going to do something visually, I want it to look right. So I really do appreciate your son being open to all of my feedback, and hopefully he doesn't hate me now.
It's been fun for him. I feel like he's been getting into his drawing skills and experimenting with different things. And so I think this was a fun challenge for him.
Yeah. And Donald too, so Donald is my husband for those who don't know that, but he helped us with the music selection. And I think at first he was like, oh my goodness, we're doing this again. And then I think he got into it because he's really good with sound. He's also the one who taught Heather how to edit the whole podcast and everything. So
it still helps me whenever I need something. Yes.
Yeah. And then I was thinking this morning, my sister, a lot of people don't know this, but my sister actually creates the show notes for our shows as well. So it's not just Heather and I. We have very supportive people all around us that are helping with this as well. Well, should we talk about what's not going to change?
Well, our content is not going to change. We will still be talking about essential oils because that's what we enjoy talking about and teaching on. And I think that we both really like our typical format of conversation style, kind of going back and forth of the things that work for us, telling stories about things we've heard that work for other people, giving recipes, things like that.
Yeah. And along those lines, we actually did look this up, an essential oil that would kind of work with this theme. And so I use the Essential Emotions app, but you could also use the Essential Emotions book for this. And I just looked up Renewed. And so it came up with a whole bunch of different oils that would help with if you're on a path for renewal. And as I was reading this, I was thinking, man, we should have done this in March when we really started soul searching on whether or not to change up the show or in the show. But, we're here now, so let's talk about it. So Heather, here are the different oils that you can use to help you from an emotional standpoint when you're going through a transition or wanting to renew something. And you let me know which one of these you would are drawn to. So there's basil, peppermint, green mandarin, magnolia, bergamot mint, ravensara, shinrin yoku, or cheer.
Wow. And that is a wide range of different scents, different properties. That is a big description of oils. The one that immediately stuck out to me is magnolia. So I feel like that's resonating with me right now. What about you?
I'm curious why magnolia. Can you connect the dots on why magnolia?
Magnolia feels like a special oil to me. It's not one that I use all of the time. And I feel like when I do use it, I feel like I'm wanting to either be present in something new or I'm going to go experience something new. And so having that one associated with renewal, I think that's speaking to me right now.
Yeah, that's cool. So for me, peppermint stood out to me just because it is refreshing and energizing. But green mandarin also is I feel like green mandarin, and maybe because I like it in sparkling water. So it just seems like a refreshing drink. Okay. And so that one stands out to me. I love bergamot mint, so that just stood out to me too. But magnolia is one of my favorite oils. And I'm surprised that one didn't connect with me because part of why I like it is that it supports the adrenal glands. And I do think a lot of times when you go through times of renewal and change, that comes with stress. And so magnolia would actually be really supportive from the stress standpoint. But I guess because we've taken our time with this and not pushed it, I don't know that I have felt stressed about the change.
No, I don't think that I have felt stressed about the change either. I think we've done our due diligence of talking with each other, kind of making these decisions as we went, and not creating this episode until we were ready to kind of make the big reveal of everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, we would love to hear from you. Which of these oils stands out to you? If you are thinking about a big transition or change, let us know. And we will continue to provide the same type of podcast you've been hearing, but we hope you enjoy the changes and want to share it with all of your busy lady friends. It sounds so weird. So, thanks for listening to the first episode of Essential Oil Conversations for Busy Women. We'll have a new episode for you next week.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This podcast is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.